Welcome back to the Shop Mini RC, everybody. I'm Ken, and today we're looking at something not so RC, but definitely RC related. We've got this thing here. This is a Jump Starter car wash 2-in-1 by Lokithor. It has a lipo in it, right? So batteries, RC, makes sense? No, there's more to it than just that, guys. We're going to dive into it. I think this thing's going to be awesome for what we need it for, and I can't wait to show you. Alright guys, if you like the channel, make sure you subscribe. If you're checking out this Lokithor here and you don't know what we are, we're the Shop Mini RC. We generally do small scale RCs, whether it's rock crawlers like what you see in the background here, to bashers and race cars. We race 28 scale on-road mini Z cars, all the way up to larger scale stuff. We have 8 scales and stuff like that as well. So we do all sorts of RC, but primarily smaller scale, and we do a lot of events, So we got this because we're going to be using them at events. It's always nice to have a jump starter and a power supply of some kind. So this thing just looked like it was awesome. We saw them out at Axial Fest, and they were spraying down people with the water function, the car washer function of this thing. And I thought, how cool would that be to take to our local comp crawls and things like that and be able to spray down tracks or wash people's trucks off or just get a mister, so have a mister going in our booth, because we do have a booth, and keep us cool when it's hot. So I had to get one. I had to show you guys. A lot of people go camping crawling, go out there and camp out for a weekend and take their crawlers, and so having really good battery backup. I said 2-in-1, it's 5-in-1. I don't know why I said 2-in-1. So we're going to definitely dive into this guy. Totally cool thing for sure. The force of thunder in hand. We have not even seen, well, we've seen the one at their booth when they were at Axial Fest, but we have not yet looked inside this guy. So you are enjoying this for the first time with us. Nice and packaged well. It's got foam to help protect it. Here's our manual. All right. The hose. So there's a filter. That's nice. A little cage filter for going into your bucket or wherever you're pulling water from. And then there's our output hose. Put those on the side here. Little bag here with stuff in it. We'll get to that in a minute. Some different adapters, it looks like. Oh, nice. A nozzle end. Oh man, I kind of wish it was a standard like hose end for a regular screw-on hose. Maybe there's an adapter for that. We'll get in there. We'll look. And then the battery backup or jump starter itself. Ugh. Nice and tight in there. Is that everything? Yeah, buddy, that's everything. So pretty good sized box for this little guy here. How cool is this? I'm super stoked for this. We're going to be going to Proline by the fire, and I'm going to see about bringing this guy. I'm going to have to carry it on the airplane with me, probably put it in my carry-on or my backpack or whatever, because it does have a lipo in it. Oh, it's got a light? Oh, man. Oh, man. So we're definitely going to have to see what all this thing has. I am excited to check it out. Nice and compact. Not too heavy. 2.4 gallons per minute, 200 PSA. Yeah. That's our output, that's our output. Part of our power. 2 different USBs, standard USB, USB-C. Okay, we'll dive into this thing here and check it out. Now, did I say like, subscribe, share, notification bell? Do all those things, guys. Help support the channel. If you're interested in RC or you have seen some of our other videos, you know what we're about. So if you'd like to see more of that, definitely help support the channel by subscribing. It's just a click for you, but it means the world to me. Plus, we're going to show you guys cool stuff like this. So definitely worth subscribing and checking out. Anyway, let's start diving into some more of this. We'll set this guy aside. I don't know. Let's go ahead and open it. We might as well just open it all, right? It is quality. It feels quality. Doesn't feel like cheapy plastic, so I appreciate that. Like I said, I just kind of wish it was a screw-on end, at least just for this, so that we could use standard garden tool type sprayers, whether it's a mister or just like a regular water your lawn spray or a sprinkler. Maybe you want to do a car wash drive-through for RCs. You can set it up at the booth and have it running. People run by and let the car wash clear off their trucks. That would be nice, but we need to be able to have the right end. We'll see if there's some options for that. Jumper cables. Again, this is what the core of what this guy is. It's a jumper box. There's a USB cable. Nice. There's a second USB cable. Okay, so we can charge our phone or our transmitter. If you can charge your transmitter with it. There's our air compressor. Fill up our tubes on our bikes. Yeah. What else we got? Oh, nice. All the different ends. And then our plug-in charger adapter. All right. There's our manual. Got some info in there. Use precautions. Do not use with water above 60 degrees or 140 Fahrenheit, dirty water or strong acid or alkali water. If dirty water enters, it can be cleaned by pumping clean water. After the pump is used, and there's no need to drain the water inside the pump. That's nice. Keep water in the pump body to prevent the internal diaphragm of the pump from sticking. Okay, cool. And then when the water is not used for a long time, abnormal situation, blah, blah, blah. Okay, there you go. We can read that. The interior of the product is designed to be waterproof, and there are 2 drains at the bottom. If it is normal if water flows out of the drains. So that's good that it's waterproof. Obviously, when you're mixing electronics and water, you want to make sure things are safe. So there should be 2 holes here. Oh, yeah, there we go. Little drains right there. So it's okay if water comes out of there. Good to know. And all kinds of info in here. I'm sure you could find this online if you wanted to download the PDF and kind of see what it's about before you purchased it. Yeah, sorry, I'm just kind of looking at this stuff here. I know you probably don't want to see all that. But yeah, so that's everything it comes with. One thing I wish it came with that I'm not seeing would have been a nice case for all of it to fit in. Just a single case, right? Because I'm sure you could get this pretty compact in a nice soft case even, right? Like instead of using this little bag, they could have just given us one big bag to put it in. That would have been nice for sure. We've got all these goodies, but nowhere to put them all, which is unfortunate, especially our hoses. But you're probably not traveling too much with the hoses is my guess. Maybe that's their thought, but either way, a nice bag like this, just bigger, would have been ideal in my opinion. Now I want to go through the basics of what this guy has to offer. But first, we're going to go ahead and get it charged or get it started on charging. And we're going to use the USB-C to do that. This guy here, you can just plug it in. It's a dual purpose. It's the in and out, so you can charge it and charge devices. You can use either USB cable if you want to use this guy because that's what your power block brick is. Go ahead and just plug this in and then plug this into your normal USB or USB-C like what we've done here. You cannot charge this unit through this USB here. This is an output only. So you charge in through here and then they can both be used as outputs. Also, we have these plugs here. There's an output and an input. You can use the car adapter for your cigarette lighter and plug this guy in here and plug this into your cigarette lighter on your car. That will also charge it. And then if you want, you can have an output here. And then right in here, it shows you what the outputs are. So we have a 12 volt, 16.8 volt output for the DC and a max current of 10 amps. And then there's the input. That's these 2 plugs here, your input and your outputs. And then your USB-C output or input with a 60 watt max there. So those are all your inputs and outputs. It would have been nice to have a converter in here for a regular AC outlet. That would have been freaking awesome if you had an AC plug in there. Because I did want to use this to charge batteries, but not just USB plug batteries. I wanted to use kind of our hobby grade charger. And I was hoping we'd be able to plug this in. I didn't look too deep to see if it had one. I wasn't overly worried about it, but I thought it'd be nice if we could plug in our charger and charge batteries off here, at least for the little guys. Now you probably can get an adapter when you do your output here. You can DC out at 12 volts and basically just get a plug in like this. And then as long as your charger has a DC in, like this guy, probably be fine to go from here to here. That'd be my guess. I'm no electronics expert, but I think that would probably work just fine. As long as you got your positives and your negatives, right? All right, what else we got in here? This right here is for the jump starter. So your clamps here, and this guy will plug in right into there. Got a nice little protector on there so you don't damage these plugs. Got our water outlet here, and our water inlet is on the back, right there. And then we also have our air out, which goes there, and that's our little air piece, our hose, and it's going to screw right in right there. So we can fill our bike tires and all that other good stuff. I've also, you could fill up an air compressor, so like a canister, so that you could have compressed air. You basically use this to slowly fill it up. And then once it's full, you can use it to blow stuff off with an air compressor, an air canister. This doesn't put out enough air pressure to be like high pressure air. But again, like I said, if you fill up a container or a canister, you'll be able to. As far as the buttons on this guy, pushing any of the buttons will kind of wake it up and get you your screen. Right now, obviously, we have power going in and it's charging. If you see 2 lightning bolts, it's the high-speed charge. I think that's going to depend on the type of plug you're using. I think our plug is just a basic USB, so we're not getting the high voltage or the fast charge. But we have our light here. If you press and hold, that gives us our light. If you press again, it'll switch to a flash. Press again, it goes to an SOS, and one more time, we'll turn this off. You can adjust, well, I guess while we're charging, we're not going to be able to go through all the functions here. Just the light. The light's the only thing that we get with this charge. When you are plugged into a car and you have external power, it'll pop up EXT power, and then you're able to run your functions off that as well. But you need to be plugged into like a car battery. Here we go. Actually, open right to it. Right there. So external power supply, and then your car will be powering this, and you'll be able to use the LED, the water pump, the USB-C out, the USB-A out, as well as the air pump. So you can use all the functions of it one at a time, not multiples at the same time, but with it plugged into your car. So if you're not using it as a jump starter, your car's not dead, but you're out camping and you need the water pump, or you need the air, or you need the light, you can plug this in and just run it off that as well, which is a very cool function. Again, I feel like it needs that AC power. I don't know how difficult that would be, but that would be pretty sweet. What else do we have here? This is just talking about your water pump. Yeah, everything is a long press to turn on and then a short press to turn off. So like, we'll go ahead and plug it here. We'll just unplug this guy. There we go. We've got 3 out of 4 bars. I'm not sure how long it's going to take to fully charge it, but we'll find out. So if we go ahead and long press our wash, it's going to start pushing the wash. You can see it's got 36 minutes. Short press will turn it off. So the wash tells you how much battery life you have left. And then if we go to the air pump, long press. Short press turns that off. Cool thing is we can set our bar or our PSI, and then it'll shut off when it reaches that. So we do 70 PSI, go ahead and pump. And once we hit 70 PSI, she shuts off. Or bars, however you want to set it up. Okay, so that's very cool. We have our DC out. So again, that's going to give us DC power out of here. You just have to have the correct an adapter for that. It's a pretty simple thing to use. It's got tons of functionality, which I dig. And I love that it's got the little handle here. It's not too heavy. I'm kind of curious what the battery on this thing is. Let's look on the bottom here and see the light. Let's see. We'll start at the top. 74 watt hours. It's a 500 lumen LED. 12 volt starting. The peak current's 2500 amps. Water pump water pressure says 200 psi, which is pretty crazy if that's true. 2.4 gallons per minute, up to 150 psi on that air inflator. There's all of our outputs and inputs and our polarity and charging temperatures and storage temperatures, all that good stuff. Very cool. So there are a couple other features that are in this guy that are not so obvious. One is that you're able to do a force start, which is going to push a lot more power. If your car is totally dead, like your battery is below 1 volt and it won't start at all and you really need a lot of extra power, there's a way to do the force start. Now the force start does get rid of some of the safety protections just because it's got to push so much power through. And so you've got to make sure that the thing is hooked up to the battery before you go into the force start mode. Force start mode is basically once you're on the power on state, you're on like this. You hold the bar and PSI button for 5 seconds. And once you've done that, it'll go into a force start mode. Now, it won't actually work unless your clamps are hooked up to the battery. It needs to sense that they're hooked up. And that's one of the safety precautions so that you don't touch the 2 clamps together, because then you could cause some major issues. But that is an option. So that's very cool that is a feature there just to help you get that extra oomph. And you're able to exit that mode, as you saw, just by hitting either one of these buttons here. Now the next hidden feature, it's not really hidden, it's in the manual, it's right here, but you're able to use it as a voltmeter, and you basically hook up the jumper to the car battery, and it's going to, go into the normal jump start mode. But then you're able to exit that jump start mode just by hitting the power button with a short press, and it should go to the voltmeter. It'll show green light, and the green light will go out after you do that, and it'll display only the voltage of the car battery versus both the car battery and the jump start battery. When you first hook it up, it shows the voltage of both of them in parallel. So to go and see just the car battery, just hit this button once, beep, and you'll be good to go. All right. Now, anybody that knows our channel knows we don't usually just do a regular review on something. We use it, and we also usually take it apart. I'm obviously not going to take this apart. What I am going to do is I'm going to try to get my charger to work on here, because that's kind of a thing that I want. So I'm going to basically just take our regular adapter here, just because I'm going to be able to push the wires into there before I solder things and make an actual adapter. We're just going to try it. We're just going to see if it works. So we'll go ahead and plug this guy into our DC in, which usually we use a larger battery, like one of these guys, to just kind of power this and charge all of our smaller batteries. But in this situation, we're going to try to use this guy. So let's go ahead and power this guy on. I found an adapter, or a plug, off of one of these from back in the day. I don't even know what this is for. It's been sitting in a drawer for 20 years. So we've got an adapter, and it fits in there just perfect. I cut it off typically, and I'm hoping this is the case here, but the white stripe on these is our positive, and this guy fits right in there. So we can put it in there just perfect. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put these in here, and we're going to see if we power up. So the white wire into the white stripe, we're just push it into our little plug hole there. We're going to, I know this is not the best way to do it. You can also use a voltmeter and all that good stuff, but I'm 99.9% sure this is going to work just fine. All right. And we'll go ahead and plug this guy in here. Into our out. And then we're going to push DC out and hope it doesn't catch on fire. No, hold DC out. Oh, look at that. Let's make sure we don't pop out there, but yeah, there we go. Seems good. Even here it says DC 15.1 volts. So we are good to go. And we should be able to charge off this, into our little mini batteries for our micro crawlers while we're out at events. Freaking awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and do up a actual adapter here. Just basically take one of these and hook it to the end of this guy. All right, looking good. Now we've got our little adapter. We can plug it in, turn it on, DC out. Bam. And there we go, charging away no problem on our little 400 milliamp battery. Pretty slick. Definitely dig that. And I think we can still charge our phone. Let's check. I'm going to go ahead and plug this guy in. Yeah, and we're still able to charge. Looking good. I dig it. All right, let's go. Let's get it packed. USB out. It's a beautiful thing. All right, we're going to take this guy with us to Proline by the fire. We're probably going to use the water a little bit. Maybe we'll use the air. I don't know. We're definitely going to use the water. We're definitely going to use it to charge some batteries. Hopefully we don't have to use it to jump start the truck, but you never know. So we'll see you when we get to Proline by the fire. Now, before we get out there, I want to try the water pump here. So first things first, we're going to do that. It does come with these three adapters, and they do not have rubber grommets in them, so you need to add the rubber grommet. So we'll go ahead and throw those in there. I believe the third one is just for extra, but you do need two, one for the in and one for the out. So we're going to get those in there. Got our little rubber grommet in there. Screw it down on. Comes with a little tool here that you can use to tighten it up. Now you don't need to over tighten, just make sure it's snug. It should be enough, and we'll do the backside. Then we'll go ahead and take our filtered side, throw it in the water here, and plug plug this guy in. Just clips right on. Now you want to make sure it's on there nice and tight. You'll hear a little click when it goes on. Here we go. And then you should be nice and snug. And then same on the front here. Grab our end, clip it in, make sure it clips. There you go. Simple as that. Nice and snug. Hit the power once, click and hold. Make sure we're in the water. I believe this is on. It's probably going to take a minute to prime it, so let's give it a second. Should prime. Also, make sure this is tight. I noticed that this ring on here wasn't fully tightened on the hose, so there might be leakage there, and it's not going to get full suction if that's not tight. So make sure everything is nice and tight and sealed. We are also fully charged here, and it looks like we've got 54 minutes of runtime using the water pump. Now, I don't know if it'll stay consistent that way, but it's what it says we have right now. So I'm going to go ahead and let this prime itself, and I'll let you know how long it takes. I have absolutely no suction of any kind from this guy back here when the pump is on. If I turn on the pump, nothing. Like, there's no suction at all. So we'd been running it for a minute or two and nothing was still pumping. I pulled it apart, tried to see if there was any suction. I had no suction in the back, so I went back to check the manual to see if maybe we need to prime it first. There was a little note about how if you let this sit for a while, it may end up having the valves inside seal themselves closed. So it suggests hooking up your hose here, your air hose, and blowing it into here to help kind of push the diaphragm so it doesn't seal. So we're gonna hook this up and we're gonna try that. This little guy just screws on here, and it comes with a bunch of different tips. So we're gonna use the long tip. It's kind of for filling up inflatables or whatnot. We're gonna go ahead and just kind of stick it in here, and we're gonna blow some air. So to do that, we'll turn it on, and we're going to hold this. All right, so when I pushed it through, I felt air coming out of here, so I think we're good. I actually felt it kind of break through. I think there's a tiny little, right in there, that little hole, there's a diaphragm on there, so I think we should be good now. Let's try. Get our little ends back on. Let's go ahead and just turn it on and test. Oh yeah. All right. And here we go. So forward is gonna, yep, I feel that air coming out. So I think we're good. Should take a second here. Oh, it's really sucking down water. Let's give it some more water. I think we're pumping. Oh, it's really going. It's sucking down. We should be spraying out of here now. There we go. All right. Now we should have a good loop. Decent. I mean, it's not a pressure washer, that's for sure. Woo! That's got some pressure. Okay, it's a lot better pressure once it really gets going. It's kind of loud though. Ooh, nice mist. Whoa! Get up here. We're gonna have a mess here, I bet. Oh, I'm waiting for this guy to fall out. This would be awesome for camping, to take a shower. Yeah. For how little this guy is, that's pretty impressive. It's got some pressure for sure. I mean, again, it's not a pressure washer. It's meant to just kind of to wash and rinse and use as a basic washing tool or shower or whatever, but probably not as much pressure as like your home hose out of your, for your backyard hose if you're going to wash your car or whatnot. But if you're out on the trails and you need a water pump, this could be really good. And like I said, I think it'd be great for a shower while you're camping or to rinse off your trucks. You just need a good sized bucket because it looks like it goes through water pretty quick. Here, we'll go ahead and fill this up a little bit more, and then I'm going to just run it and spray it in here and kind of see how quickly. Well, got the little cup in there, we can see. We'll go ahead and turn it back on. Give it the pump. And actually, if we turn this on to like a higher flow, which is probably that, probably the highest. Oh yeah, see, it's going. Woo! She gone. It's almost coming out of here as fast as my faucet fills it. Oh, interesting. When you shut it off and it can't have no pressure, or if it builds pressure, it shuts it off so it doesn't burn it up. That's a cool feature. All right, man. Yeah, that's oh, and it turns back on. That's freaking awesome. So you can turn it off, it stops, turn it on. So you can always leave it on. Oh, I love it. Watch this one. Woo, buddy. Yeah, that's some water for sure. Now it's not going to build pressure because we're out. So we need to take the pressure back out. Nice. I like that feature, the fact that you can just, because then we can have it on while we're at the event. When you need some water, you can just come over here and spray it down and you're good to go. And I bet on the mist, if we use like a mist, it probably will last a while. Yeah, it lasts a lot longer on just a mist. It's still going though, she's still going. Anyway, very cool. All right, we need to get this thing dried up, packed up, and get it out of here. Oh, what? Come here, Bash. Come here. This is our new puppy, Bash. His name is Sebastian, or Bastion. And, yeah, he's a Bash. Basher? Hey, Basher. Isn't he adorable? He's like 2.5 months old. Anyway, all right. We gotta get this guy packed up.
All right, we're gonna get this thing hooked up and going. See if we can get some water spraying. It's actually not too hot today though, so that's good. All right, we got it hooked up. Let's see if we can get some spray. Woo! I'm sorry, brother. It looks like it works. That's awesome. And then we got different modes. Some mist. Woo! Let's go. Get the dust down so it's not too dusty. Not too dusty. It works. I love that I can just shut it off. Just shut it off. It's done. It's not even running anymore. Awesome.
Just from Matt from Scale Builders down.
All right, guys, this thing was awesome. I was hoping to get more footage while at Proline, but we were just so busy. And the one thing I wanted to show was charging some batteries while we we're out at the event, but I couldn't charge any batteries because TSA, you can't really see it, but they decided to open my bag, repack, and when they did, they completely crushed the screen on my charger. So I don't know if you can kind of see it there in the reflection of the light, but it actually pushed right on there and the whole screen's broken. So I couldn't charge any batteries while I was out at the event, which was horrible. I mean, I could borrow other people's chargers, but nobody there had a charger, none of the people with me, that had the DC, so I couldn't test it with this. But we know it works. We did it while we were here. Just sucks that my charger got destroyed. Thanks, TSA. It's not the first thing TSA's destroyed, so just always be careful when traveling, guys. Just know stuff can happen. Anyway, this thing, awesome. Oh, and we found this axial bag. So, hold on, how do we do this? We wrap it on here. We just kind of wrap our strings around, but we got a nice little axial bag that has all of our goodies in there for the jump starter. So this is what it should have came with, is a bag about this size, maybe even big enough to put this in. I don't know. Would have been nice to have like a bag for this and then compartments for the hoses at least, but whatever, at least get a bag that you can put everything in. So you got all your goodies there, hose, sprayer, air hose, all that good stuff, all in one spot. But yeah, this thing, you can see it's still dusty. It's dusty as hell. It's so dirty. I even tried wiping it down, but yeah, Proline by the Fire, awesome. If you've never been to an event like that, you got to go. These guys were there again, so we were actually set up right next to Genze's and Lokithor, and so their booth was right next to our booth, which was awesome. They were really enjoying having us there and showing off their product in our booth too. So pretty funny. I didn't know that they were going to be right next to us. Worked out well though. Anyway, guys, this thing, freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. You definitely are going to want to check this out if you're a camper or you like to go out to events where you don't have power and stuff. Definitely cool. The water feature is just unique and awesome. And if you're camping, you just put your filter in a lake or in the stream. You have infinite water as much as you've got battery. If you've got your truck out there, you can plug this in through the lighter port and you can literally just take a shower all day. Have water running all day as long as your truck has gas, right? And you're running your batteries. So yeah, definitely cool. Light came in way handy, actually. I should have filmed that. No, I don't know if we showed that in the film, but we used this light when we were tearing our tent down. Just kind of stuck it up in the tent and took down all the booth, all the tables, put all the products away because it was nighttime by the time we were done. And this thing lit up the whole tent, like underneath. And we had a 30 feet worth of tent, basically 30 by 10. And it was awesome. And then obviously we took the tent down, we had to move it, but we moved it over onto the truck bed and just shined it towards us and it worked out great. Freaking awesome. Well worth it if it's stuff you're going to use, right? Like while you're camping, and usually find a use for that kind of stuff when you're out and about and do the kind of stuff we do. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's kind of a long one, but I wanted to show you as much as I could about this guy and just kind of give you our experience. Super happy with it. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to share it with somebody who might be interested in the same product or just interested in our channel in general. Also, check out that Proline by the Fire video if you want to see some cool events. And then make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. All those things help support the channel. Huge shout out to all of our subscribers, all of our channel members. Channel members get to see all these videos early before anybody else with no ads. They also get behind the scenes videos sometimes, priority comment replies, stuff like that. So if you really want to help support the channel, that is an awesome way to do it. But even just clicking that subscribe button, just a click for you, but means the world to me, and that helps the channel a ton. But the shares, got to share the videos with people, show them when you find cool stuff. So yeah, speaking of cool stuff, I want to see people get out there and build cool stuff. So if you're in the RC hobby, make sure you get out there and build a car, build a course, and build a community, grow the hobby, and then smash it, crash it, and bash it, but don't break the expensive parts. TSA, don't break the expensive parts. Jeez. All right. Peace.